We're not afraid of dreaming big. We're not afraid to bring the fight.
Hello guys, welcome to the Prince Shows the Crown, episode 2 of my podcast. Today I'm here with a very special guest, my cousin, biggest role model, Kevin Janiec. How are you?
Good, Cart. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being on my podcast.
Yeah.
So, we're here to, kind of let people know that if they set their mind to something, they can achieve it. They just got to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
And motivate people. And I know that you are one of the very successful people. You got a nice house, nice family, and got a good job. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that.
All right.
Some questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, when you were a kid, what was your dream job?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different dream jobs. It depends on really when you're thinking. I mean, at one point I wanted to be an actor. At one point I wanted to be a rapper. At one point wanted to be a soccer or basketball player. Wanted to be a coach. As I got closer to college, wanted to be a talent agent like Jerry Maguire or Ari Gold from Entourage. So yeah, nice combination of Will Smith, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Seacrest, Matthew McConaughey, just a nice blend of it. But I realized those things might not be practical, so had to find what were the common themes there and take my own path.
Okay. So, and when you were in college, you had like a rap group, right?
Yeah.
And how many albums did you guys make?
Good albums or just albums?
Just albums.
Just albums. There was 2 or 3 albums. We got a little better and better every time, but it was just kind of a fun thing, putting, just writing rhymes, and then my one roommate was good at making the beats, and so we just had some fun with it. But we still listen to a couple of the songs today, but it's, I put the past behind me a little bit.
Okay. So, and you went to Penn State for 4 years?
Yep.
And you got your bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
And what was that bachelor's degree?
That was in public relations and advertising. So I had a minor in business, but I figured I love writing, love relationships, public speaking, and so the College of Communications at Penn State was a good degree to get a lot of that experience in those areas.
Okay, and you got your MBA recently?
Yeah, I mean, not majoring in business. I figured Vanguard, where I work now, pays for the opportunity to go back to school and get your master's, and I took advantage of it at Villanova, and it was just a great way to, while I'm working, take a couple night classes and learn about all aspects of business. So regardless of which direction I go, you're a little bit equipped with how the world's changing, how business is changing, and then you get to meet a lot of good people along the way. So it's been fun, and Villanova won 2 national championships while I was there.
Yeah. So, because of the whole COVID pandemic, how did graduation work? What was that experience like? Because when you graduate from high school and college, you didn't go through the whole COVID-19.
Yeah.
So what was the experience and how did it work?
It was very, very different. It was a virtual graduation. We took the last couple of classes online, and they did a nice job with it. But rather than the big graduation party like we had at Penn State, it was a couple of us at my parents' house, and we plugged the HDMI cord into the computer and streamed the virtual graduation and had dinner when it was done. So I'm still awaiting that celebration, of course, but I'm glad to have it behind me and be done with school for a little bit.
Yeah. So, and this MBA, like, how much do you think that helps you with your work experience?
Yeah, I think it remains to be seen, but any time that you can continue to learn and invest in yourself and really put the effort into, after a long work day, try to pick up some additional knowledge and see how that applies to what you're doing or which direction you want to go. I mean, the world's changing so fast, and to be able to have knowledge in different areas but then also be able to specialize in a particular thing is just, I think, really important. So I don't know how exactly it'll apply, but I think just being a little bit more thoughtful on different areas of business, the connections that I made through the program, and just the effort that I realized I had to put in, I think will go a long way in the career.
Yeah, and what was the biggest obstacle during earning your MBA? Like, what was the biggest obstacle you probably faced?
Yeah, I think the motivation to continue to go. When I started the program, I lived with a couple guys in Conshohocken. I had a long distance girlfriend at the time in California, in Nashville. That girlfriend then moved home, became my wife. We had a baby. We had a new house. And so through all the life changes, through all the career changes, as I worked at Vanguard the entire time, just figuring out, rather than going home and hanging out with the family or watching Netflix or going to happy hour, I had to keep going to class. And that obviously got old after a while, but it was the result was worth it, and I'm glad I put it forward.
So now that you have done that, you can spare the time to go to a happy hour, right?
There you go. Hopefully when this is all over, there's a lot more happy hours to go to.
Yeah, I know. Hope me and you can have a happy hour sometime.
There you go.
Now,
Great.
Newly 21. So maybe what's your favorite part about your job?
Yeah, so what I do is I sell to financial advisors. I work for Vanguard, which creates investments, mutual funds, and ETFs, which a financial advisor will invest their clients in to help them, reach long-term goals. I want to partner with those advisors to coach them on how they build out their portfolios, how they run their business. And in doing so, they determine, is there a fit for the products that my company makes? My favorite part is the relationships that I build with the advisors, and just, I think, financial advice in general. It's so important for us all to plan for what we want to accomplish in life and manage our finances accordingly. And just being so close to that business is really fun. But that wasn't something on my radar when I went into when I graduated college. I didn't know I would be as passionate about that. So I think it's all about kind of continuing to pursue what you're interested in and figuring that out and making it work for you.
Okay. And as talking about goals and setting your mind, what's the most recent goal that you've had that you just set your mind to it, and maybe you're still working to achieve it, or you have achieved it?
Yeah, I try to set goals. The way that I look at it is, okay, 10 years out. Picture a day 10 years out. What do you want your life or your day to look like? From a family standpoint, do I want to be hosting Charlie's end of season soccer party here and have our annual barbecue with family and friends in our backyard? Maybe having clients that I have over. And just, so a lot of that vision goes back to, okay, so what do I want my family to look like? And what do I need to do in the next 5 years? In order to accomplish what I want to do in the next 5 years, what do I need to do this year? And so a recent goal was have another kid. And we have one on the way in September. It was try to get this house in order. And we've made thanks to COVID, we've made a lot of progress on the house and the landscape. Another one was finish the MBA, because that was something that was taking up a lot of time and definitely a milestone that I wanted to take care of. Last year it was getting my CFP certification. But I think unless you know where you're working towards and what's important to you, it's hard to determine what's that next goal. And so that's how I kind of work backwards.
Now, I know Charlie's young, but from pictures that I've seen, I can tell she's very proud of you for finishing the MBA.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I could see all the pictures. I was like, she's proud, even though she's not really sure what it is.
I think she was happy to have the cake. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. having a daddy home at night, right?
Yeah, it's been good.
It's been a lot of nights.
It's been good.
And, maybe talk, about the goal that you had when you were younger that you achieved, or that you really worked towards.
Yeah, well, I think, the key things are looking back to when you were younger, and what were some of those common themes that you were always feeling like, this is where I'm at my best, or this is the things that I like to do the most. And so when I was in elementary school, I wanted to be Santa Claus in the chorus concert. I wanted to be, the entertainer, or get the lead in the play. I wanted to be the captain of the sports team, and be someone that kind of brings people together. And as I looked throughout history of my life, it all kind of came back to the same themes of where I wanted to be. I wanted to be bringing joy and entertainment to people. I wanted to be, bringing some meaning and some significance to each situation that I'm a part of. And then I wanted to continue to learn and grow and have the team get better along the way. So, what it was changed, but I think who I was and why I did things always stayed the same. And so as I look forward, I think that's the key that I continue to look at. How can I continue to bring joy to people? How can I continue to bring meaning to people and to the situations that I'm a part of? And how can I continue to grow and help others grow along the way?
Yeah, that's awesome. So, one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever plan on going back to school one more time and doing something else? Or do you plan to just keep your career where it is and just keep on working towards moving up in the company and, making that dough? Because from what I've
You
heard,
gotta turn it into something at some point.
I think you're more about making a meal, not going to dollar menu at McDonald's. You gotta make a meal for your family, home cooking at the grill.
Yeah.
So, do you continue to go back to school? Do you think you might go back to school and learn something else, or do you just keep on furthering your career?
Well, that's the interesting thing about school is I don't want to go back to school. Like I've gone enough. I don't want my PhD or anything like that. But with podcasts today, with books today, I never want to stop learning. So while I don't want to go to an actual formal educational, system and get a degree, I want to continue to educate myself every day. And so, am I ready to be complacent? Absolutely not. Am I ready to pay tuition? Absolutely not. So we'll see. But I think you can make your own school at a certain point, and that's what I hope to do.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people feel now. A lot of people aren't going to college nowadays, and I think a lot of people. The reason why is people want to learn their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Me as personal experience, I'm not going back to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I'm very creative.
Mm-hmm. And
when it comes to school, you have a lot of guidelines that you gotta follow. And me, when it comes to writing a story or just writing free write, I know you do a lot.
Yeah.
I just want to write my own thing in my own kind of style, in my own creative way. And I feel like when you go to school or college, whether it's high school or whatever kind of school you go to, you have guidelines to follow. And I'm not very good at following the guidelines. I want to write my own way and what I'm passionate or interested about. I feel like when it comes to school, you can't do that really. So, I think that's a big reason why a lot of people come to school. They want to live their own way, write their own way, if they're a writer. So I know you write all these memoirs, and I'm writing all the time as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's a story or it's just writing down feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that doing the podcast like you do, and just watching whatever's inspirational to you, I think it's a great way to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that people that are watching this or just going through a tough time from the podcast is just like perfect to say, well, I'm down. I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't know where to go from here. Listen to a podcast and it just brings you up completely.
But and I think, and as we've talked about before, everyone has their own thing that works for them. I think the key is, are you continuing to push yourself? Are you continuing to learn and grow and to be better at the things that you're passionate about and the things that are needed in this world? If there needs to be a demand for your craft in this world, and so I think whether it is school or all the alternative options that they have, you can't stop learning. You have to keep pushing yourself and challenging yourself and becoming better, but that doesn't need to be a formal educational institution. That can be all of the different things that are out there. So I think, yeah, if there's anything to take away, it's find your own path based on who you truly are, but never stop continuing to better yourself along the way.
Yeah. All right. That's great. So thank you very much.
Well, we can't shake hands in COVID. We stayed the distance.
Thank you so much for being on this podcast. That
Yeah.
was really helpful. All right. So I hope you guys learned something from Kevin, and I know I did, on how to better myself and find out where I'm the best and how to further my dreams, whether it's on YouTube or just getting another kind of job or career. And that's great. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kurt.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.